to Fun Fit from Home. I'm MC, and on behalf of Santé Santé, I want to welcome you to this week's session. This week we are going to do exercises on the mat, so it's important that you only do this workout if you know for sure that you will be able to get onto the floor safely and back up safely on your own. If you're not sure if you'll be able to do that, feel free to visit any of our other videos that we have on Facebook, our website, and YouTube. What we're going to need today is a mat, a towel, and a set of hand weights. You're also going to need to make sure that you have a pair of flat sole shoe, a little bit of space to move around in for a warm-up, and that you have a bottle of water nearby in case you get thirsty at any point. Feel free to modify the moves as we go along, and we're going to get started with our warm-up, and our warm-up is going to be mostly cardio, but we're also going to do a little bit of balance in our warm-up as well. So get your running shoes on, and let's get ready. All right, so we're going to march in place. So when you do your warm-up, it's important that you know where everything is around you so that you don't trip on anything. So your hand weights and your towel are out of the way, and you've got some space on the floor to move around in. So we're just marching here. We're getting our body warmed up and ready to exercise. Keep your chest lifted and reach the crown of the head up. So we're going to keep walking here for a little bit more. And we're going to take this into a wider stance now. So we're going to keep marching, wider stance. You're going to feel that a little bit more in your hips. And back together. All right, so we're going to put those two moves together, and we're going to go out and in. So it's for a count of 4. So it's out, out, in, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to keep that going. And let's march. Now let's take it up on our toes. So this is where the balance comes in. It's also really good to warm up the ankles. And we're going to go back to the regular march. So if it's uncomfortable for you to march on your toes, you can always do a regular march instead. That's perfectly fine. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it on the heels. So if you need to stay with the regular march, that's okay too. All right, so up on those heels. So it's a little bit more awkward. Again, great for warming up the ankles and also great for working on our balance. And regular march. All right, so what next move we're going to do is 2 steps to the side and then a slow knee for 2. So the slow knee works on balance. So here we go, 2 steps to the side. Now slow 2 knees. So you're going to tap down on the floor and then knee up, and then 2 steps to the side. So still warming up, working on that balance a little bit. Now if you can, when you take your 2 knees up, you can try to keep your foot suspended on the floor without tapping the floor to work on your balance even more. But if the foot needs to touch down, that's okay too. So we're going to keep that movement going. So we're preparing our joints for exercise, we're warming up the body. It's important to always do a little bit of a warm-up before we do any type of strength training exercise to make sure that our body's prepared and ready for the work ahead. All right, now we're going to go right into a step touch, side to side. And let's add a shoulder roll here. An arm circle. And a hamstring curl. We're going to pull with those arms. So warming up the knee joint. You might also feel a light stretch in the front of the thigh here when you do your hamstring curl. And back to the march. All right, the next move is another balance exercise a little bit. We're gonna do a lateral step to the side. So we're transferring our weight. So we're gonna start on this side here, so big step, and together. So when you step to the side, you're transferring your weight, and you wanna make sure that you shift your hips back so that the weight's in the heel rather than the toes, and that your knee doesn't cross over your toes or your ankle joint. Just a little bit more, side to side. And alternating knees. We're almost done with our warm-up. We're just gonna add one more balance exercise before we get onto our mat to work our muscles. So we're gonna slow this down, so slow right down, so balance. Try to keep the hips level and the chest lifted, the crown of the head reaches up. Okay, we're gonna do one more, then we're gonna add a kick. So we're gonna lift the knee up and kick down again. So being very careful here. If you just want to stay with the knees, you can do that as well. And foot down. All right, awesome job, guys. So we're going to carefully go down onto our mat and make sure that you have your hand weights close. We're going to do some upper body, some lower body moves, and some core moves in this workout. Okay, so let's get down onto your mat. If you don't have it out already, go ahead and grab it. And let's meet onto the floor here. So taking your time to get there. And we're gonna start in a tabletop position here. So your knees are gonna be right above or right below your hips, and your hands are gonna be under your shoulders. Now, if you find that being on your knees is really uncomfortable for you, this is where you can grab your towel and place it here. And that way you can have a little bit more cushioning on the knees. And we're going to start with a row, which is a move for the upper back, and it also works a little bit of the biceps. So you're going to want to grab your hand weight, one of them. So your hands are going to be under your shoulders here, and you want to look straight down at the mat so your back, the back of your neck is long. So you want to avoid looking forward. That'll crank the back of your neck here. And we're going to pull the elbow up towards the ceiling, squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine on that side, and slowly lower down. Now try to keep your hips and shoulders level. So we're already at 2 here. And we're going to do a total of 12, but you can always stop before 12 if you need to. And that's 3. Abdominals are engaged. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, guys, we're going to do 4 more. Make sure you keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so of course we have to do that on the other side. So hands are planted down right under the shoulder. You're going to grab your weight with the other hand, looking straight down. You're going to pull your elbow up towards the ceiling and slowly come down. So you want to try to avoid rotation here. So really pull the belly button in and down. So we've got 10 more. 10. Still breathing. 9. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, and 1. Bring your weight down, and we're going to stand on our knees, and we're just going to shake out the hands a little bit. And since we worked our upper back, we also want to work the other side, so we're going to work the chest next. So we're going to lay down onto our back for that. So make sure that your hand weights are both close by, because we will need those on our back. So you're just slowly going to come onto your hips. You can take your towel here off to the side, and you might want to bring your towel to the floor behind you if you want a little bit of padding for your head, because we're going to lay all the way back down. So taking our time to get there. So if you need a little pillow here, you can have your towel. If you don't need it, you can have your towel to the side. You're going to walk your heels in a little bit, and you're going to look straight up at the ceiling. You're going to grab your hand weights, elbows wide, and you want your wrist straight, like if you were holding a hammer, and your wrist is directly above your elbow joint, and your elbows are in line with your shoulders. You're going to look straight up and press up towards the ceiling, keeping a little bit of a micro bend in the elbows, and then slowly come down so your elbows are just off the floor. And push up, we're working the chest, and slowly come back down. So it's a slow motion. And 3, 4, 5, looking straight up, make sure you keep breathing, your spine is in a neutral position, 6, 7, be careful not to bang your elbows on the floor, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, we're going to put those weights off to the side. Be careful to do that. And again, just make sure that you know where your hand weights are for when you stand up, because you don't want to trip on them. So we're going to walk our heels in a little bit here. Your hands are going to be on the floor, palms facing down. We're going to go into some glute exercise, and we're going to do a bridge pose. So your palms are going to be pressing into the floor. Your knees, hips, and ankles are all in line with each other, and you're going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling so that there's a line from the knees to the shoulders here, squeezing your glutes and then slowly coming down. So we're going to do that again. We're going to do it up to 12, looking straight up at the ceiling. 2. So we're holding a little bit at the top. 3. So be careful not to go too high. You don't want to feel this in your neck. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. All right, guys, we've got 4 more. We're still looking straight up at the ceiling. So that's 4. Squeeze your glute at the top. 3. 2. All right, guys, last one. So we're looking up at the ceiling and slowly come down. All right, so that last exercise worked the glutes and the hamstrings. So now we're going to work the front of the leg, so the quadricep and the hip flexor. So we're going to extend one leg. It doesn't matter which one because we're going to do both. And nice and slow, we're going to lift the leg up towards the ceiling. So we're going to lift up, straight up towards the ceiling, and then slowly come back down. And 2, still looking straight up at the ceiling. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, you're going to bend that knee with the foot flat on the floor so that the feet are in line with one another, and you're going to extend the other leg out along the floor. So again, we're going to do 12 on the other leg. So looking straight up at the ceiling, and here we go. We're going to count it back. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. All right, let's go ahead and bend both knees so that the feet are flat on the floor. And we're going to go onto our side, and we're going to do 2 exercises on one side before we move on to the other. So you're going to carefully roll onto your side here, and you're going to extend the bottom arm along the floor. And you can either rest your head here on your bicep. I like to bend my elbow and hold on to my head here with my hand. So we're going to extend our legs out here. So you're kind of in a U-shaped position, a very, very wide U. So this top hip here is going to want to drop. So you're going to stack your hips one on top of the other. And your top hand is going to go in front of you. So that's going to help stabilize you. We're going to do a leg lift here to work the outer thigh. So you're going to bring that top leg in line with the rest of your body. You're going to flex the foot, and the toes are going to keep facing forward as you lift the leg up and then bring the leg back down. And 2. So keep those hips stacked one on top of the other. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there, 10, 11, and 12. All right, you're going to bring your legs together, bend your knees. So the next exercise is for the oblique. So you're going to want to bring your knees in line with the rest of your body. You're going to take your bottom hand here and you're going to press it into the floor, and you're going to come onto your forearm. You can move your towel out of the way here. So you want a straight line from your knees all the way to the crown of the head. Lift through the ribs here, and you're going to want to tuck your tailbone in slightly. So we're going to lift this bottom hip off of the floor, and we're gonna hold that for about 10 seconds. So if you need to come down before 10, you can, but make sure you keep lifted here. So you don't wanna do this, you're lifting. So the top hand here is gonna be on the hip. Get ready for about 10 seconds. We're gonna do that 3 times in a row. So we're gonna lift up, hold oblique, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. Now relax here, but make sure you keep the side of the waist long. So we're gonna do that 2 more times. If you prefer to rest instead, you can do that. So you don't have to do all 3 of them. So make sure you keep breathing as you hold. So we're gonna tuck our tailbone under, make sure we have a straight line from the knees all the way up, and lift. Now keep breathing, keep smiling, and we've got about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly come down. We only have 1 more of those. So again, that works the abdominals that are lateral of the body, so the obliques. So top hand on the hip. So again, you can rest here, and you don't have to stay up for the full 10 seconds. Even if you come up for a second, that's great. So here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. All right, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna shake the arms out a little bit. And of course, we have to do those 2 exercises on the other side. So we're gonna swing the legs in front. Now, if you want your towel for a little support on your head, so you can go ahead and grab it, put it on the other side, and we're gonna lay right down on our side in kind of that wide U position. So the reason why we're in a U when we're doing our leg lift is it gives us a little bit of a wider base of support so that we don't wobble as much. So you can have your arm extended with your head on your bicep, or like I had it before, and the way that I prefer is you can bend your elbow and kind of cup your head here with your hand. So you're going to bring your legs together in a really wide kind of U. It's almost like a hockey stick position. So the top arm here is in front, and you're going to stack your hips one on top of the other. Now you're going to bring your top leg in line with the rest of your body and slowly lift the leg up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there. Keep breathing. And 10, 11, and 12. All right, bring your feet together. You're gonna bend your knees, and you're gonna prop yourself up onto your elbow here. So you wanna try to keep your elbow under your shoulder joint, and you're gonna bring your hips forward a little bit. So you want a straight line here. Your tailbone tucks under a little bit, so your pelvis is actually gonna tilt backwards, and the hand's gonna be on the top hip. So again, we're gonna lift up. If you only wanna lift up for a second, that's fine. We're gonna hold it for 10, and we're gonna do that 3 times in a row. You can only do it once or twice if you prefer as well. So really lift up through the bottom ribs here, and come up. We're gonna hold that 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come down, take a few deep breaths. So we're again working the obliques, the abdominals. We've got 2 more rounds to go. And here we go. Lift up, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Take a few breaths. If you want to just relax here before we move on to the next exercise, that's okay too. And if you want to do the last round, get ready and lift the hips up. Tuck your tailbone under. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. All right, great job, guys. So just sit up for a second. Top leg is bent here. You're going to shake your arms out a little bit. So the next exercise we're going to do is for the central abdominal, so your rectus abdominis, which is the muscle in front here. And we're going to roll onto our back and do that. So if you want your towel here as a pillow, make sure it's there. We're slowly going to come down, so nice and slow. And we're actually going to keep the head and shoulders on the mat for this exercise. So you're going to look straight up at the ceiling. You want to try to keep your chest as open as possible. And you're going to bring one leg up to 9 degrees, so your knee's right above your hip joint. And you're going to bring your hands onto your knee here. You're going to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to press your hands into your knee and your knee into your hands. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. So as you do that, you really want to pull your abdominals in, and you want to make sure that you're not holding your breath. So we're going to come to the other side now. So deep breath in. It helps to contract the abdominals as you exhale for the first one. So take a deep breath in, and then exhale. Hold as you press. 5. Keep breathing. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. And we're going to keep alternating that. So go back to the first side and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down, and switch. We're going to keep going. Press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're pressing with those abdominals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your back is in a nice neutral position. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we still breathing? Other side. It's really easy here to hold your breath. So make sure that you consciously keep breathing. 2, 1. One more on each side. That's it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And both feet flat on the floor. You're going to relax your hands. And let's do a stretch for the abdominals. So you're going to extend your legs out, point your toes, and reach your arms overhead in the opposite direction. So keep breathing here. Stretching the front of the body. So we've got one more exercise to strengthen, and then we're going to move to our flexibility component of the class. You're going to lower your arms all the way back down to your sides, and you're going to bend your knees, and we're going to roll on to our sides, and we're going to come back into that tabletop position that we were in at the beginning. So carefully come on to your hands and knees. Okay, so you want to adjust here so that your knees are under your hips and your hands are under the shoulders. If you need a little bit more padding under your knees, you can always grab your towel and place it under your knees here. So we're going to do an exercise called the bird dog, which focuses mostly on the lower back, but it also works the glute and the shoulder at the same time. And it also works on balance. So another thing here, kind of like when we did our rows, is you want to make sure that you're looking straight down
at the floor here so that the back of your neck is long. So you want to try to avoid cranking your neck like this. So you're going to look straight down. And you're going to lift one leg up and then the opposite arm come up. If you try to do the same arm and leg, you're going to be a little topsy-turvy here. So opposite arm, opposite leg, doesn't matter which side you start with. And we're going to do that 20 times. So that's 10 times on each side. So looking straight down. So you're going to extend straight out from your hip with one leg and then the opposite arm. Hold for about a second at the top and then slowly come down. So try to keep your hips and your shoulders level. So that's 2. As you do that pose, hips and shoulders level, looking straight down. And 3. So you want to try to keep the leg in line with the hip joint and the shoulder with the shoulder joint. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, we're halfway there. Counting it back. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. All right, great job, guys. So that's it for a strengthening component of the class. So we're going to do a few stretches before we finish off. So for the first couple stretches, we're going to go ahead and lay back down on our back. So again, being careful to do that. So if you want that pillow underneath your neck, you can use your towel. And we're going to roll back down. So the first one stretches the lower back and the glute, which is great because we just worked out our lower back. So you're going to extend one leg along the floor and bring the opposite knee towards your chest. Make sure you breathe here. Now, if you find that this is a little tough and your bottom knee is bent a lot, you can always flatten that foot to the floor. Okay, so now we're all going to bend the opposite foot, or sorry, the opposite knee, and the foot's going to be flat on the floor. And the top leg here, you're going to extend it up, and you're going to point and flex your ankle. So you can keep your knees soft here if you need to. So we're stretching out the hamstring, which is the muscle at the back of the thigh, and we're dynamically stretching the ankle. And circle the ankle. Now let's go in the opposite direction. And bend your knee, flatten your foot to the floor, and we're going to go to the other side. So bring your knee in towards the chest. You can either remain here with the knee bent, or you can extend that leg along the floor. Looking straight up at the ceiling, and taking some deep breaths.
Now let's bend that opposite knee here and extend the leg that you're holding onto up towards the ceiling. You can keep your knee slightly soft if you need to. And we're going to pump the ankle. And we're going to circle the ankle. And let's go in the opposite direction. And we're going to bend the knee. So the next stretch is for the groin, and it's a really passive stretch. So you're going to bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor like this. Arms are at the sides. And you're going to open up your knees to the sides with the soles of your feet together. So we're just going to hold that for a few breaths. It's a very passive stretch. And just like gravity, open up the groin here. And we're going to flatten the feet to the floor, bringing your knees up towards the ceiling. And we're going to start to stand up now. So we're going to slowly roll onto your side. Now take your time here. There's no rush. So first we're kind of coming into a seated position first. And you can come up whichever way feels comfortable for you. So you can come from tabletop or from the side, slowly coming up. Good. All right, we're going to do a few more stretches standing up before we finish off our workout for today. So make sure you're standing nice and tall here. And we're just going to start by rolling the shoulders back a few times. Yeah, that's it. Nice and easy. All right, awesome. So we're going to interlace the fingers together behind us here. And we're going to pull the hands down slightly away. So you're going to feel that in the front of your shoulders and your chest. So really exaggerate the lift of your chest here. If your hands don't quite reach together, you can always bring your hands on your hips instead and bring your elbows back. So we're going to add a neck and work a stretch to this, and we're going to deepen the stretch of the shoulders. So you're going to bring both of your hands to one hip and tilt your head to the side. So again, if your hands don't quite reach, so you're going to hold that if you're holding this position, but if your hands don't quite reach, you can do the same thing this way and still tilt your head to the side. Now bring your head back up, and we're going to bring the hands to the other side and tilt the head. So you're tilting your head towards your hands here. Bring your head back up to center. We're going to reach one arm up towards the ceiling, shoulder down, chest open, and bend a little bit to the side, not too much. And then firm up your legs here so that the stretch comes from the waist rather than lower in the body. And then arm comes down, other side. Again, so you want to make sure here that the chest stays open, so you don't want it collapsing to the front here. So your shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. As you take deep breaths, you're going to stretch those intercostal muscles, so the muscles that are in between your ribs. Lower the hand down. All right, a little bit of a wider stance here. We're going to take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. All right, great job, guys. I hope you guys had a good workout, and we look forward to seeing you at our next workout session.